that they were just building. And I went to dinner with him, and he had a little tiny booth about the size of this coming out to here. And I had this lavish booth. I had beautiful models. I had nice backdrops. I had great pictures. And even Paul Mitchell, who, when Paul was alive with Gene Gray, they came over and said, "Oh man, you're the hit of the show." He wasn't selling franchises. He was just, walking through it. I said, because I had the most people, right? So I went downstairs and I said to Fred, I said, so we were having dinner. He says, "I'm going to have 5,000 locations by 1995. I said, "Yeah, sure you are. You got 200 locations." He said, "Well, the first thing we're doing is we're going to start baking bread. And the smell of bread in the stores, that's going to get people excited. So I'm going to build the AUVs, which is the average unit volume. And then I'm going to encourage all the franchisees to buy a second location or have their family buy it. And then I'm going to go from 200 this year to 400 next year. And then next year I'm going to do 800. And that's how I'm going to be at 5,000 units." I said, "Fred, you can't go from 200 to 400 to 800. You don't have organization." He said, "Yes, I do. I have a department head in every category, and all I got to do is add more people in each category. I've got site selection category. I've got lease negotiation category. I've got a construction category, store design category. I've got all the categories covered with a person. And they're going to be the department heads. And then as we get more, they're just going to start hiring more people." "Oh yeah, sure. 5,000 by 1995. So then you know what he did? He went out and put in napkins. 5,000 stores by 1995. And he put it on the cups. He put it on the cups. Then he put it on the sandwich wraps. Okay? Everywhere you looked, it was a Subway. 5,000 stores by 1995. So in 1989, we became partners. And another concept called We Care Here, okay, which we're just about to roll out. And I was in Hawaii at the National Convention of Subway, and I got a bottle delivered to my room, right here. And this bottle says, "Congratulations, Subway staff, development agents, and team. 5,000 stores were just hit on August 1st, 1990.
Wow.
Okay? He forecasted 1995, 1990. How do you do it? Well, it went from 400, it went to 800. 800, it went to 1,200. It didn't double to 16, but it went to 1,200, and then it was 1,200, 1,200, 1,200. So they had opened 5,000 stores in 5 years. That's a world record in franchising. Nobody's ever done that before. Probably nobody ever will do it again. But you know what? Everybody believed. The guy that was making the sandwich, he believed it. He saw it on the cup, right? The girl that was, the girl answering the phone in World Headquarters, yeah. And World Headquarters went from a small office about this big to a 40,000 square foot building in those 5 years.
Wow.
And they went from 30 employees to 400 in those 5 years. So people used to ask me, say, "Well, what's Fred DeLuca like?" Well, the first thing I would tell them, don't take advice. Because he thinks everything's easy now. Don't take advice. But secondarily, he's a Swiss watchmaker of businesses. What does that mean? Well, he looks at everything and he says, how can I make it less expensive? How can I make it better? How can I throw away all those moving parts and have less? So instead of making stuff more complicated, he wanted to make it simpler and simpler so everybody could actually perform on a level that was easy, not hard, right? So anyway, yeah. And so what did they do? All right, he broadcasted, they proclaimed it, they will buy into your dream. And by 1995, 1,000 locations today, 45,000, dream with a deadline, got to have goals, forecast and share your vision, and empower others. So when you're bringing in people, and you truthfully say, well, so, the thing about this, and I'm going to go through this, you are making people the opportunity to actually become a millionaire. Whether you realize it or not, I'm going to show you how that happens. But you can take young hairstylists that are 21 years old and show them how they're going to become millionaires. And they will become it. And they'll say, I remember when Rhonda told me, I remember when Sandy told me. I didn't believe them. But you know what? When I got to be 45, I realized I'm really on track. And I'll show you how that works. Okay? Because that's what you're really doing. You're changing lives, financially. And I'll tell you this. Oprah and Dr. Phil were right. They would say that 60% of all marriages wound up in divorce, and of the 60%, 80% of the 60, it was because of financial duress. The husband didn't make enough, the wife didn't make enough, the husband spent too much, whatever. They fought over money. So if you can actually make that an easier thing as a young person, then things are going to be even better for you. You'll have more of a better personal life and a better spiritual life. And it's not what money buys, it's what money allows you to do. Right? Spend more time with your church, be more with your family, just like Kobe was, okay? That's what allowed him to do. So who's flying a plane? We are people, and sometimes we're afraid in a plane. And the reason that we're afraid in the plane is because we're not flying it. Because I don't trust somebody else. Like my wife doesn't trust me driving. How in the world do I not get in an accident? I don't get it. I am more susceptible to get in an accident when she's in the car with me than when not. Because she does this. And I'm like, God, what happened? Right? Did you see that car? No, I didn't see that car. Well, isn't this so I get around with it sometimes, you know, when my kids get in the car, I say, well, Mom, sit in the back seat, okay? You guys get in the front seat. But seriously, because she's not, but you know, when I drive with her, if she's going to take me somewhere and she drives, she never says that. I never heard her go, oh, never. I don't get it. Okay, so the pilot set the course and everyone gets on the plane and he takes off. Passengers trust he will get them to their destination. You need to be in control, and everyone has to trust that you can get them to their destination. Accomplishment and financial success. As a leader, you must have the I can and I will. No one can stop me except myself. And if they believe in that, they'll go through tough times. They will. I have kids that have really tough times. They wait outside. It's 10 above zero. They gotta leave the house an hour earlier because of that particular transfer. It takes them 2 hours to get to school. But they believe that they're going to become a success, right? And they're willing to stick it out. And when people believe in you, because others can testify that it's happened to them, it's even better. Nice people will finish first. I always say that, right? Confusing. Why? Nice guys finish last. They don't, right? The answer is you have to be nice, but you have to be firm. You have to validate. So I saw Evander Holyfield on TV, and he's broke. He went through $200 million, and he's got no money left. And so A-Rod and the Prophet, right? The guys decided to pair up with him and help him out. And so what you're noted for is you being an athlete and you having power. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a power drink for you, a nutritional drink. And we're going to create a bar, a nutritional bar. You say, oh, I like that. Okay. Now, but you must take ownership of this. Because the way Evander looked at it, well, I gave my money to these other people because I was a boxer and it was their responsibility to handle the money. But I just worked on what I do. I don't work on what they do. And so they lost my money. So I guess I lost my money, right? Well, they said, no. What do you think about the price? He says, oh, it's a good price. Is it too high? Is it too low? I don't know. You set the price. Well, what price would you recommend? Whatever you say. He said, well, that's not the way it's going to work. We're going to go see the company that manufactures it. We want you to ask them questions. He got into the conference room, didn't ask one question. They said, Evander, what do you think of the price they're going to charge us? I don't know. You guys tell me. Is it good? No, Evander, you should know if it's good or not. Evander, who is your advisor, financial advisor? His name is Bill. What's Bill's last name? I don't know. He says, you don't know what's the name of his firm? I don't know. And he's been handing your money for how long right now? Oh, 4 years. See, Evander, you cannot rely on other people to do what you have to do. If it's to be, it's up to me. Okay? And so, in this particular case, you have to fight for your beliefs, and being nice doesn't mean that you're a softie. And people cannot live in a competitive environment. They don't necessarily maybe belong on your team, because they really belong on a grammar school or high school team, not like the Super Bowl. What was the Super Bowl? To win each day, make it your goal to play like the Super Bowl. There's no timeouts, there's no instant replays, it's just here and now. Right? That's what life's all about. Right? When that football game is over, it's done. And so, in a no or low standard operation, people will become complacent and just want to get by. There is a need to hold people accountable. This is the way we do it. This is what we expect. No inspection, no expectations. If you don't inspect, you'll never be able to expect. Right? Like Evander. He just lost it. Didn't expect and didn't inspect. Okay. Professionals setting the world on fire. Fire! Okay, so Gina, Gino, Ivan, Sandy, Johnny, Rhonda, Kitty, Harriet, and I could go on and on and on with all of you guys out here who are doing fabulous, right? Ross stood up and says, 48 cans! Right? So I'm not thinking in the way of cases right now, I'm just thinking cans, right? Because that's almost a quarter of the way to get on that cruise. Okay, so all of us have our own unique and special talents. We're not all made alike. I also say to hairstylists, don't look right, don't look left. Don't worry if they're doing great braids and you're doing great color and you can't braid. Who cares? Just focus on your hair color and you'll be a superstar. Anastasia will tell you that, all right? She learned that right away, what she was going to be great at and what she was a little challenged with. And then she didn't waste her time on the things that she was challenged with. She invested her time on the things that she had an affinity to, okay? It's like if I'm a baseball player and I'm a pitcher, and you come to me and say, I'm going to teach you how to run the bases, I'm going to show you how to hit, then you're not actually creating a path for me to become a world champion. You're not going to get me in the Hall of Fame, because you're not really focusing on my talents. If you focus on my talents and show me how to pitch better, at least I'll have an opportunity to get to the Hall of Fame. Okay? So that's what you got to think about. This is your time to ask questions and lay out your 2020. So set the goals, make them realistic, but set them around your talents. What is John Amico? Okay. Check every month to invest so members have fire! Financial independence and retire early! Yes! Financial independence and retire early. Now, whether you retire like me and just keep doing the stuff you love, because you're in retirement and you get to do what you love, right? Like show up here, right? Play on my computer, post on Instagram, have meetings, right? Get model searches, all that good stuff, right? Play with products, deal with clients. Well, I like it. So for me, as you know, as Jerry Gordon would say, they're taking me out on a stretcher. So, what do we have here? We have diversion-free online tech. And John's going to talk about it. I mean, online tech. Why is it bold? Because it's so important. So important. We have education, cruise, biggest ship, national convention, which was great. You make a list. And then you create, what's your story? How'd you get here? Okay? That's what you want to talk about, your story. Okay. So, what's your future? Action plan, leadership. What's the sign of a great leader? Getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. Because I'll tell you what, I could tell people what to do in such a way that when I turn my back, they'd all give me the finger. Okay? But they would do it. But they wouldn't do it well. They just do it. Their heart wouldn't be in it. They wouldn't have any passion. And we wouldn't win the Super Bowl. So, that's very, very important. Now, here's the process. People come into the system. They're pros. They get a license. Right? And what are we doing? We're teaching them. We're sharing with them how they can use the product in consumption better. And I'll tell you this. I love 2020, right? Because I will tell you this, we've got 700 different products and SKUs based on the hair color and all the rest of the stuff. But if you're great at 20, and you teach 20, you're going to have superstars. You start trying to teach 72 or 144, you're in big trouble. So what you need to do is look at their talents, Look at where they're coming from. Are they going to need edge control? Are they going to need some smoothing creams? Are they going to need to do some silk and press? Or are they going to be doing some straight updos and color or whatever? That's what you got to look at. So you got to ask questions. So you're not force feeding them things that are not appropriate for them. Yes. Okay. Then the next is, this pro turns into a really good member. And if a member, what do you want them to become? I want them to become an educator. Because I want them to teach and train others. Do what you're doing. You're doing it so well. I want you to show other people how you do it. And then you can step into the leadership role. Leaders are, for every 100 members that join, I'd say maybe two leaders will be in that team, in that group. Not everybody. And maybe 10 educators could be in that group. 1 out of 10 could be an educator. They like it so much they want to show other people how to do it. Okay? And so, how many leaders can you generate? How many educators? How many new members? It all starts with new members, so that's where it begins. So you forecast and you proclaim it to your team where you're going, and I need you to sponsor 5 new members by. Give them a goal. Now the members that are going to come in can be members just like you. I'm not going to ask somebody to go over and see Louis Vuitton hair salon, who is an individual stylist who's been working 3 years in a salon, to go and speak to Louis. Because Louis has 25 hairdressers. And Louis is going to say, what credibility do you have to come to me and tell me what I should do? Because I've been doing this for 35 years, and you're in school, out of school for 2 years. Even though you got a clientele, and even though I should be receptive and I should open my mind, I just don't feel like you have anything to offer to me. So, goodbye. He hurt my feelings. He doesn't want me bothered. Well, yeah. Unless you're friends with his daughter, or his wife, or he's your uncle, then you have a little bit of an inroad, right? So try to, and you know it better than they do, so sometimes they might need your help to talk to somebody. Because the more they hear, the more they listen, the more they repeat it, the more you say, oh, she's got it! Wow, she does it better than me! Okay, so who's flying the plane? That's the question. Okay, so this is where Sandy really wanted me to think about, kind of show you guys a little bit. Okay, first of all, over here this is the sponsoring, right? This is sponsoring over here. And this is the number of members that come in on 6 different levels. Because your organization might have 10 levels, like Sandy might have 20 levels, but she's being compensated on 6 levels, okay? So you think in terms of 6. Now, over here, you got to get in the game. Because if you don't get in the game, you don't get on the first rung. If you're on the first rung, you get a chance to go to the second rung, and the third rung, and the fourth rung. You actually someday get to be all the way at the top of the ladder. But if you don't start someplace, you're never going to be there. So you got to get 5. 5. And you're going to get 5% on one. Well, actually, it's actually 6, but and 7, because you get on yours, you get on your first, your second, your third, your fourth, and your fifth are 2, 2, and then your last one is 6. Okay, so how much money do I really want you to make? If all you ever make is $150 a month in a check from John Amico, I am happy as a clam. Because I will show you what it will turn into. If that's all you ever get, I am so happy and pleased. Now some of you will get a dynamo, and you might discover somebody like Ivan, and he is really, he understands what it's all about getting in the game. Right? And by the way, when you get in the game, what do you got to do? In order to get in the game, you got to practice. If you don't show up for practice, the coach can't put you in. He says you don't know what the plays are. Right? So if you don't come and you don't learn how to do this, you can't get in the game. All right. Over here, if you get 25 members or more, maybe 50, you get an opportunity of making $500 a month. That is huge, huge, because it's passive streams of income. In other words, you're making money while you're sleeping. Other people are producing the income, and you're generating. But how is it coming in? It's coming in on commissions, and it's also coming in from online. So you get other streams that are actually helping develop this. And then if all you ever get, and if the best person that we ever have, which I know this is not correct, but if it were, and this is all it was, then this would be unbelievable in terms of rewards. Yes, Ron?
I
Yes.
have a question. So if you bring someone in there and say, then they really explode and they bring some, is it like a downline in the sense that not only do you get theirs, do you get the person's
Yeah. That's why Sandy has a couple thousand people. Ron has, pretty close. Because of that.
John,
Yeah.
John, can I say
Yes,
something
go
to
ahead.
that? Well, if you're not working,
Yes.
you still have an income. Okay, I've been off work 10 months,
Yeah.
and we'll have to take a couple of more months off.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's still a check coming in,
Absolutely.
and even if
And that applies in retirement, so if you ever hang up your shears, right, then you have the check. Right, and I always say, when you hang up your shears, sometimes in the regular hair industry, you hang them up, you got varicose veins and car payments, right, because that check, it stops. When you run out of money coming in on a weekly or monthly basis, and you think Social Security is going to take care of you, you're still thinking about Santa Claus. Okay, because it's not going to happen. And so I challenge all of you to have continual income, even if you decide to retire from whatever you do, you have to still have means of income. I have friends, my son has friends, that are retired from the police force and other, and education. And even though they get a pension, they still are active generating income. Right? There was a guy who wanted to sell a $3 million restaurant. I told him, don't do it. He said, why not? I said, first of all, the government's going to take $1 million. Right now you got $2 million left. How much were you stealing? Excuse me? I said, well, listen, what are you making, a couple $100,000 on paper? Well, yeah. Well, what about the cars? Huh? Well, what about the health care? What about all these other things you're pocketing or you're paying for out of the drawer? He shut his mouth. I said, you're living on $500,000 a year. Now all you can have is 4 years of income if you sell it. Okay. So over here, you've got to do it. You've got to get in the game because you'll never know what the opportunity was. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and look for Jump by Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey will tell you that if you never jump, you'll never fly. You'll never know what the riches of God and the world has to offer you if you never do it. Okay, so here's FIRE. Financial independence, $5 a day, $150 a month. I teach all my students $5 a day away from being a millionaire. I actually give them $1. I have one with me down in my room. I forgot to bring it up. I actually have $1. It says, you are the greatest. You are a millionaire. And then they sign the date that they got the $1. And I tell them, the next time you're going to get this autograph is when I'm signing your diploma and you're going for your license. Okay? So this right now, what do I want you to hang it up? I want you to hang it up on your bathroom mirror. So every day you look at it and you keep forecasting your future. Okay. Vanguard 500. At one point, we were talking about every 7 years money duplicates itself. Whatever the initial amount invested will duplicate. And in essence, that was correct. But right now it's much faster. Matter of fact, it's almost 5 years right now because it's turning at 15%. Vanguard 500, top 500 companies in the United States. This is a fund. This is not buying stock. This is a fund. Whether you put it out of your 401k or however you're going to put it out there, you put it into a fund, a no-load fund. And if you look at $150 a month, which is $1,800 a year, in 6 years it will double to $3,600. In the next 6 years it will double to $72. The next 6 years, which now is the 18th year, it's $14,400. In 24 years, it's $28,800. In 30 years, it's 57,600. In 36 years, it's 115,000. And in 42 years, it's $230,000. From $5 a day for only 1 year. 1 year. Now, can you imagine what the second year would look like? The second year would look like about 215,000. And then you go to the third year and the fourth year, all the way up to this 42nd year of investing. And you know what that turns out to be? $2 million. $2 million. And so what we have here is become a millionaire, $2 million. But if you up the ante and you're doing more than $5 a day, or 150, which I showed you over here, that was the beginning. That's where I want you to be. Get in the game. Make 150 a month from both from online as well as sponsorship, right? And this is a reality. Reality. Put 500 a month away. That's going to yield in 42 years $10 million. Join the Millionaires Club. Think before you become. All right? And you will. Yes.
I just wanted to say that I think it might have been the first year of my being with John Amico in Chicago. I'm going to have to look at the date on there because I got an award and it was recognizing me as a member of the Millionaires Club. I had no idea what that meant back then. No idea whatsoever.
Other people invest differently. You know, like if you are a real estate connoisseur like Pete back there, Pete has 800 units of apartment buildings, okay? And he started with a 6-flat or a 3-flat, lived in the basement, right? And grew it to a 12-flat, then 24, and then the rest of it's history because he was able to take the capital appreciation, leverage it out, and also from one single salon became a multi-millionaire, right? But on the other hand, cash is king. I like cash. It's good, right? And I think this is very simple because you don't have to think about it too much. My wife loves cash too. Casino time. She's got, if anybody's ever looking for cash, she's got cash. Okay. All right. My focus, Sandy said, duplication. So leaders can locate educators from members. Remember, leaders are looking for educators. Leaders are looking for leaders also. Duplicate yourself by getting more educators to support team building. Educators can develop into leaders. Leaders help members sponsor. Leaders identify and build members into educators. Educators educate and inspire. I always say, education is inspiration. If you inspire people, they're going to learn, right? They're going to want to come to your classes. And then members use product and refer new members so they can build their own income stream just for referring friends. If I have one young lady and she refers 5 members, she's in the game. Because out of those 5 members, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 will bring in another one, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But they're in the game. And they got a chance to make $150 a month while they're sleeping. Right? No strings attached. But every now and then, somebody might retire, somebody might quit. You have to then get somebody else.
That's right. You have to always be adding because of, you know, we also have death.
Yeah.
That we lose members.
Yeah, of course. Okay, each group has an opportunity of changing the beauty world. Set your goals. Different people, different goals, right? Some girls that are going to join want to have children. Some girls that are going to join may want to help support their husband to become a dentist or something. So they're going to be, you know, have a limited amount of time that they can invest, but you can figure it out with them. Because you want them in the Millionaires Club.
Yes.
Okay? Because nobody's going to take care of us as hair professionals. They're not going to take care of it. Nobody. Get it out of your head. Then we go back to Easter bunnies, right? That's not going to happen. L'Oreal doesn't give a shit. Okay? They don't care. Get it right. They don't care. Okay? Yes. Right. So declare the role of each member, because you can understand it. Leaders lead and create the big picture. Build educators, educate and inspire. Members support the system with their consumption and sharing their success with others and introduce them to leaders and educators. Tell your own story of success. once upon a time, you all have fabulous stories, how you got in here, you know? And some, and read it, you know, I was on a plane, and I sat next to Sandy, and I happened to say that I'm a hairstylist, and before I know it, I thought I was sitting next to an insurance salesman. But she got me into the program. And that 2-hour flight was the best thing I ever did, and I couldn't get away from her. She had me trapped in my seat.
I meet him in bars, John.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
yeah, great story. Okay, big picture. Okay, so here's the thing. We need 750 new members.
Absolutely.
That's what we need. We need 750 new members by next year at this time. That's what we need.
Okay.
And so next year, I got to tell you, the biggest ship that's ever been built will be on the ocean, being put in November of 20. In 10 months, they're putting that ship in the water. We're going in February. Why is that so great? Because the whole entire crew will know where the hell everything's at. If you've ever been on a shakedown within the first month and a half or two, half the crew doesn't know what's going on. Here they will, because it's 9,000 passengers. If you look at the water line, it's 450 feet to the top, which is half of the Empire State Building and the Hancock, or the Willis Tower.
So how do we find each other?
Oh,
That's a problem.
go to the casino. Casino's a magnet. People just accumulate around them. Okay? So guys, now we got to declare it. 750 by 1220. And if it stretches over a little bit, it's okay. Team effort. Exceed your goals. Get them to win it. Win it. They're in it to win it. Get them to win it. $5,000 is nothing. It's $100 a month. I mean, a week. It's $50 for service products. It's $50 in retail products. It's nothing. Nothing. Particularly if somebody's got two. Look, Johnny's going, nothing. Of course it's nothing. Who would want that kind of money? That's crap. Right? She retails 800 a week. One person, 800 a week. I'm using two hands because this is for the team over there. Ralph is equally responsible.
Yes.
Okay. The big four are all losing market share to Zahn. Yes, the big four. So that's your Coty, that's your P&G, that's your L'Oreal. Those are the guys that are losing market share to Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon is killing them.
Yeah.
All right. But you can get their products on Amazon. You can't get ours.
Yes.
You got a captive audience, guys.
Thanks.
Yes.
So that's why what Johnny's going to talk about is so powerful. We got them captured. So we're growing. The goals that they're not telling what you can do when you get inspired by your goals. There's no